cool, cool. Just making sure. Some people, they, especially they're a bit newer. They don't really do Python. They do like well, whatever they they're programming on. So
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, yeah, okay. Making sure things are doing good. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good here.
Okay.
So welcome to this blog and review. In case you're not familiar with the format, it's going to be about an hour long, and we'll aim to spend 45 minutes on the actual interview part, and then
Yeah.
5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is at the end for feedback questions you have. In a real interview,
All right.
right? They might do some introduction at the start. They might do some stuff at the end. We're gonna skip all that. Just go straight to it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for this problem, oh, Python is your preferred language, right? Just double checking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So for this problem, I'm gonna read it out to you, and then you're free to ask any questions. Please feel free to take notes in the code itself, like comments over here.
Okay.
Okay. So for this problem, your input is going to be a list of numbers. All
Hmm.
right. And I would like you to return at the end the mean, median, and mode.
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
Yeah. So your input is going to be a list of numbers, and I would like
Yeah.
you to, in the end, to return the mean, the median, and the mode.
Sorry, I'm not familiar with like the terms mean, median, and mode. Could you clarify those, please?
No problem. So the mean is a simple average. It's the arithmetic average. The
Okay. Just average.
median
Yeah.
is the number in which half of the values are less than that. I mean, wait. Do you wanna take your notes first?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
just this first one is just average, right?
yeah, the
Second one
arithmetic
is
average. All three of these are types of averages, but yes,
okay.
the mean is what most people think of as the average. The
Mm-hmm.
median is
Mm-hmm.
the number from
Mm-hmm.
the list in
Mm-hmm.
which half of the values are less than this number and half of the
Mm-hmm.
values are greater than this number.
Okay, half is less than this, and then other half is greater. Okay, so the other way. Okay, okay. So basically, a number instead of the list that um okay, okay, I think I get it. So half of the list is greater, half of the list is smaller than this number, but this number exists instead of the list, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So the last one
The last value is the mode. The mode is the most common number.
mode equals most common number. Okay, so could I just repeat the question just to make sure that I understand, please?
For sure.
So I'm given a list of numbers. Is it like a float number, just like int?
They could be floats. They could be anything. They could be integers as well. Yeah, they could be any number.
Okay, just numbers. Would it be an actual like number or like a string
Oh, they will all
with
be number
numbers?
types. Yeah, they would all be in
Okay,
Python. They would either all be integers or floats. Yeah,
okay. And I just need to return three values, which is just the average of the numbers. Um, this average might not exist instead of the list. It might, but it might not.
correct.
Median is an actual number that is the middle value, which means that it is the values might be it's like in the middle where there are numbers that are greater and then numbers that are smaller, but it's just like the medium value inside of the list. So this has to exist inside of the numbers list.
Mm-hmm.
And mode is the most common number inside of the numbers list, which is pretty straightforward.
That's right. Yep.
All right. So could I get a minute to think about this question?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
And so do I just need to like return like let would that be like a method header or should I just create one like
Yeah, you should yeah like this is just from CoderPad. Like yeah, you should create a method from that. So you can call you can call the method like get averages or something.
maybe the list of numbers? So you said the list of numbers could be an int or like float. I'm not 100% sure like how to make a method header that has like float and an int. Could you help me with that, or would that
Oh yeah.
actually
Well, in that
matter?
case, it wouldn't really matter. In Python, you can just treat everything as floats. It's going to be fine. So you can just have list of float, and then you would want to return a tuple, right? You want three values to return. So it'd be a tuple. Um, well, you don't need a type for that, but basically, you want a tuple that contains three values, which are these three over here. Don't worry too much about the types if that's what you're concerned about. The types don't matter.
Okay.
Just go ahead and solve the problem. Yeah, yeah.
Right, for sure. So I think I'll just attack this one by one.
Okay.
So the first one is like pretty straightforward. I think what I could do is just get the sum of the whole list and divide it by the length of the list to get the average.
Okay.
And I could just add that to the tuple. And then for the second one, I think what I could do is, am I allowed to use like sorting functions that are built in Python or no?
You can use sorting. Yep.
So I think what I could do is use the sorting method to sort the list, and what I could do is, sorry, I forgot to clarify this part. So let's say like you're trying to get the median, right? But then like the list that you're giving me was like one or two. Which one should I return or like add to the tuple?
That's a great question. So when the length of the list is even,
Yeah.
you take the simple average of the two middle numbers.
Simple average. What do you mean by the simple
Simple
average?
average is the arithmetic average, which is 1 plus 2 divided by 2 in this case.
Oh, okay. So median might not actually exist instead of the numbers. So
That's true if
if it's
the length is even. That's right.
okay, if even, then just okay. So just to clarify, like if it's 3 and 4 here, the length is even. So I would just need to divide these two and get the average of those, then return it, right?
That's right, yes.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, I see. If even, okay. So sort the list, and what I would do is if the list is even, then I think I could just use like I access those two values right away by doing like divided by 2 or something, length of the divided by 2 and -1, just to access like the index, like those two numbers, and then add those two up and divided by 2. Or if it's like like an odd number, then I could just um, do just access the middle value. So
Okay.
if list is odd, then I would just do like length of the list like divided by 2. And if it's even, then I could do length of the list divided by 2. So for the first index, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. And then the second index will be like length of the list plus like divided by 2 and plus 1 to access the second one. And we could just add those two up and divide by 2 and add it to the tuple.
Okay.
Would you like me to clarify anything, or?
This is an index, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that makes sense, yeah.
Okay. And for the third one, just most common number. So I think I could just use. Am I allowed to use a counter? Would it be better if I just create my own dictionary?
You can use it for now, but I might ask
frequency?
you to make it yourself.
Okay, so for third one, I think I could just use a counter one, and then pretty sure there's like a built-in function where instead of a counter, you can just use like most common function. But if it doesn't have to be like this, I can just like sort it using like lambda function based on the key values of the counter, and then just return the first index, like the first number of it.
Okay.
So use counter and sort the list, sort the value, which is the frequency, the counter, and return the first the first key. Does that sound good to you, or would you like me to clarify any of these?
No, that makes sense.
Okay, so I think would it be okay if I start coding it out, or
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think you're good to go.
okay? So I would just return. So first answer would be a tuple. So I'm actually not 100% sure. Like I know what a tuple is, but I'm not sure how to like initialize it at first. Would it be just like this with um like default values, or would it be like is there like a function to create a tuple first?
Yeah, so this would be how you would create a tuple, although
Hmm.
tuples are immutable, so you cannot create them ahead of time.
Oh, okay. So
So in that context, you would need to create the three values separately, and then make them into a tuple to return at the end.
okay. So I think I can just store them using a list at first, and um, and I guess I'll change them at the end to a tuple. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so the first one, sum of the whole list divided by the length of the list. Average is equal to sum of the list divided by length of the list, and insert append average. And next one is this one. So list.sort. Need to first sort it, and if the length of the list is length of the list is even, then we would have to do length of the list. So first index is going to be length of the list divided by 2, and second index would be length of the list, or like first index just plus 1. And just be first index, second index. I'll just add them up and divide it by 2. So insert append first, so list of the first index plus list of the second index, and divided by 2. If it's not even, it's odd, so I think what we could do is 0 plus 3 divided by 2, which is 2 is 1. Okay, we've already sorted it out, so we just do insert append list of the, sort it. If it's odd, then you just this will be by 2, 1.5, and it truncates. So just to clarify, um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you're allowed to answer this question.
Yeah.
If I do 3 divided by 2, it'll be 1.5, right? But
Yeah.
since this is like integer division, I think,
Yeah.
it would be just 1, right? Because it truncates towards 0.
That's right. It'll be
Or,
one. Yeah.
okay, that is not the median one. It's plus 2. What if it's 1 is 1, then it will be 1 divided by 1 plus 1. Okay. Getting the middle value. Sorry, I'm just thinking of some edge cases.
Yeah, no worries.
List is odd. Length of the list divided by 2. So by 2 is 1. It's 1. Then it would just be 1 divided by. Oh, okay. I think this will work. Sorry, I was just confused on something. Length of the list divided by 2, and enter the middle index, and counter sort the frequency. So counter equals counter of the list. And you have to control them. Is it? Counter and counter. And we would have to get the most common one, which is counter dot sort. Sorry, I'm thinking if I was allowed to call like counter dot sort and just use like key lambda and then like sorted by the values like x dot value, but
Well, a counter is a dictionary type, and dictionary types are not ordered. So you wouldn't be able to call sort on a counter.
okay. So I think what I could do is I could just extract the frequencies from the counter and then sort them, and I would create a loop, and sorry, I would just do extract the values from the counter and sort them reversed, and the first value, so first value of the key, I would, after this, I would go through the loop. Oh, sorry, not the loop. I would just go through. Oh, sorry, I forgot to clarify this question.
Okay.
What if there's a frequency that are the same?
Could you clarify?
So, what if there's like one, 1, 2, 2? Which one would I return in this case?
For our case, let's just say there is going to be one unique value.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but just make it simple.
So extract the values from the counter, sort and I would just go through like the dictionary. So like for like at a like in like counter dot items. Oh, I actually thought of like an easier way. So I think what I could do is we're just trying to get like the one that's the most frequency. So I think I could just call like the max function instead of the counter dot values. So like answer dot, wait, so most frequency like value is going to be like counter of the max of the counter dot values, which is like the biggest, like the largest number inside of the counter.
What do you mean by
And then,
number?
sorry.
What do you mean by
Oh,
largest number is at the counter?
so counter has like one and then like the frequency of like these numbers, right?
Yep.
So I think what I could do is I just need to return like a value, like a number that has the most frequency, right?
Yes.
So I'll just access it right away through like calling the like the max of the counter, like the values of the counter. So picking the largest number instead of like the counter, like the values instead of the counter, and then accessing the key directly, and adding that to the answer array.
What does counter dot values return?
Doesn't that return the values instead of the counter?
Yes. So what is the maximum of that list? Like use this as your example. Like say this is 4, so it's not a fake example.
Yeah.
Right? So what is counter dot values?
Counter dot values would be like 3 and 4.
Okay. And what's the maximum of that list?
4.
Okay. So then you have this.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry. Okay, yeah. Frequency. I think, okay. I think what I could do is I could just do like max frequency and then just call like max of the counter dot values, and then I would have 4, right? So this would be 4, and I would do like 4 like key and then frequency in counter dot items, like accessing both of the counters at the same time.
Okay.
And if the frequency is equal to like the max frequency that we have, we would just add it to we just add the key to the answer, and then just like break to get the key with the maximum frequency.
Okay.
Does it make sense
Okay.
to you, or would you like
That
me to
that makes sense.
Okay. So we built the answer like the answer array, and we will need to tuple. So would there be like I know that set has like a call it set like this if you're trying to make a list to a set. Does
Yeah.
this work with the tuple also?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
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 Do you want to work through an example to make sure you didn't miss anything?
Okay, sure. I'll just do like 1, like 2, like 3, 4, 5.
I would recommend an even list.
Even one. Okay. 6. Okay, so first would be like sum of the list divided by the length of the list. So the length of the list just be 3, 6, 10, 15, 21. 21 divided by 2, 3,
21 divided
4,
by
5,
6 is 3.5.
3.5, okay. Which is basically like 3 because it truncates, and the average would just be 3.
Do we want to
makes
truncate
sense.
the average though?
Oh, okay, I see. So I think in that case we would just use like a float division.
Okay.
So this would just stay as 3.5.
Okay.
1.6. And I would attach that 3.5 to answer. So right now answer answer is 3.5, and I'm going to sort the list. Let's say it was like it's already sorted, so it'll be the same. And
Okay.
if the length is even, so we'll enter this part where we have first index, so length of the list, so 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So we're going 0, 2, 3. Oh, okay. See problem. Zero, 1, 2, 3. Just be 3 and then minus 1. Sorry, could I just get a moment to think about like this
Yeah,
like
sure.
case? Okay, so if it's 2, 3, 4, 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. So 0, 1, 2. The second one has to be minus 1. So this one. Okay. If it's like 1 and 2, if it's 1 and 2, then just 1. It's 1. Okay. I think I made a mistake here.
Okay.
The first index is 3, so 0, 1, 2, 3. In this case, the second index will be like accessing 5, which would be wrong. So I think I just had to change to minus 1.
Okay.
So in this case, I'll be accessing like 4 and 3. Would you like me to change the variable name, or
No, the name's
is that
fine.
okay? Okay. So this one would just be like 3 minus 1, which is 2. So in this case, answer is going to be list of the first one. So wait, sorry, I'll just go like list of the 3 plus list of the it's like 3 plus 4, right? So 7 divided by 2, which is like 3.5, but it's truncates. Oh, wait, for this one also, does it? I think we would have to keep a like float value. We can't just keep an integer value.
Yeah.
So I think this would have to be also float division. So it would just be like 3.5.
Okay.
So answer is 3.5 and 3.5. So we skip this part because it wasn't odd. And this one, like the counter, it would be 1, 1, 2, 1. It's 1. And like the frequencies of all of them are the same. As you said before, you said like let's consider that we have a one with the most frequency.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if I just changed like the 5 to like 6? So 6 has 2.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So maximum frequency is 2 right now because we're getting the values. So counter the values would just be like 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. And maximum of these lists would be like 2. And we're gonna go through like the counter, like the items, where we just go through each of them together, like key and frequency, key and frequency, key and frequency. And if we find the frequency that is equal to what we have right now, which is 2, we would append answer to 6. So answer will now be like, and then 6. And then at the end, this will be converted to tuple. So um, I would just return like this.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. Um, let's talk briefly about the time and space complexity of your solution here.
Okay, so for the time complexity, I believe that average sum, like list, like sorting algorithm, like sorting function dominates all of them. So it will be um, n log n. I
Okay.
think in Python, sorting takes like n log n time complexity.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of the space complexity, answer is just 3, but we're storing the counter, the list. So we're storing all of the, we're going through all of the numbers. So it would just be O of n.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sounds good. Um, now I wanted to ask a little bit about. So I mean, sorting is obviously one thing, right? But one thing I also noticed that you're actually iterating through the list 3 times, right? So for example, over here you have iteration,
Yes.
right? Um, well, this is not iteration, but this over here is an iteration as well. Over
Yeah.
Oh, I think he instantiated it. Wait, what's your input? Oh, it's called list. Okay, that's fine. So over here you also have an iteration,
Yeah.
right? I'm wondering if there's a way for you to avoid doing that twice and just instead iterate through the list once. Do you think you can modify your code to do that?
Sure, I could try. Would I just do it like at the end of here, or would
Yeah,
I
so
need
what I
to
would
do?
recommend is I recommend you keep this untouched.
Mhm.
Just copy that, just comment that out, and then you just continue editing at the bottom. So you can change anything you want in this copied function,
Mhm.
and the goal is to iterate only through the list once. And of
Mhm.
course, your sort method that we can leave this part unchanged. That's fine.
Okay. Um, okay, sounds good. So to do only one length of the list. Okay. Sum and the counter. So I think what we could do is I'll just like delete this. I'll just make my own counter. Wait, sorry. Counter would equal just like dictionary, and sorry, I'll just put this at the top actually. And I would just do like four um average. Okay, so I'll just do like um list sum is equal to 0, just adding all of the numbers there. And I would do for num in the nums list, I'm going to do um, if that num already exists instead of the counter, then I would just do this, sorry, counter of the num. I would just add 1 to the frequency, and every time I loop through the list, I'm just going to add the current number to the sum over um, like list sum. And if it does not exist, then I would just create a counter of the num, which is equal to 1. In this case, we're iterating only 1, but we're getting the sum and the counter.
Okay. Yep.
And to get the average, we would just do list sum divided by um, length of the list. We could actually create another variable called like length, which is like equal to length of list, and then we use a length of list like quite often here, so we could just replace it with like length for these.
Okay, no, that's fine. I think it's fine to leave it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so this would stay the same, but for max frequency, um, sorry, I'm just wondering when we do like max of the counter dot values, right? Is that
hmm
also iterating the values also once? Because this is like also iterating through the counter.
Yes, that is also iterating. Yeah, so that actually would have been 3 times. Okay, I was right the first time.
Okay. So I think what we could do with the max frequency is like max frequency would equal 0,
hmm
and when we add like a new thing to the counter, like add one to the counter that already exists, we could do if the counter of the num is if that's greater than the max frequency that we have, max frequency would equal the counter of the num to keep the max frequency as we're iterating through.
hmm Okay.
And yeah, this would just stay the stay the same for key frequency encounters. Oh, okay. And then I don't think we even need to iterate it through this actually. We could just answer like counter of the um, max frequency because that's the wait. Sorry. We actually need to iterate through because max frequency is the value. Sorry, I thought of it as the key. I thought of it as the key.
But can we not iterate though? Like our goal here is to not iterate.
Okay. For key and frequency kind of. If
When you set the max frequency here, what else do you have?
oh, okay. Um, just do like max frequency like number. And I'll just do like default number as like 0. But when we set the max frequency, I think we could also do like max frequency num is equal to um, like the num because that is the number with the max frequency.
hmm
Yeah, and then at the end, we wouldn't have to loop over, and we could do answer this at append this at the end.
Cool. 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 Does this change the time or space complexity at all?
I think we always like consider like the worst case.
hmm
Um, I'm not like 100% sure, but from my like
Yeah.
from my guess, like I don't think it would change like the worst case because it was O of n time. Um, wait, yeah, like the like time complexity is um, n log n because this one just dominates all of them,
hmm
um, even in the first solution. Um,
Yep.
Even for like space complexity, we're still storing like all of the numbers inside of the n list, like the list. So it would stay as O of one. Oh, sorry, O of n.
Okay. Yeah. So in other words, the time complexity didn't change, even though we are only iterating through the list once. Well, by ourselves. This over here is doing some iteration too, but okay, cool. That's fine. Um, all right. So we got a couple minutes left. So what I would like us to do is I would like us to begin thinking about a second problem, but I don't expect us to be able to finish it. But I want to see what your intuition about it is. I want to see what kind of ideas you have about this problem, okay? So this problem, I'm going to copy it down to the bottom. Um, so here's the problem. Please have a read and let me know what your thoughts are.
Every close bracket is. So it's only containing parentheses and you're just trying to see if the order of the parentheses is valid.
That's right.
Okay, so open bracket must be closed same time. Brackets. So would this be a valid
Yep.
like string? Okay. I think what I would do is I would just I would need to create a map where sorry, I don't think I'm just gonna code. I'm just gonna like
That's fine.
comment
Yeah.
it out. So I'm just going to create like a map where we have like the um sorry, like the closing parentheses as like the key, and then like opening parentheses as like the value, and then do the same for like all of the other like different types of like the brackets. And I'm going to like iterate through the string, and if the if if the if the char that we're currently at right now while we're iterating over
Mm-hmm.
is the key, if it's the key of the no if it's the values of the counter, so like the opening brackets, then we would append it to a stack. So I'm going to create a stack, um, and if the current string that we're at is opening, append it to the stack. So, and we would just keep doing that while we're iterating over. And if it's not a stack, if the chart is closing, we would have to check um, first is the stack empty? If it is, then are we returning like Boolean value or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it's
okay,
return true if and only if the string is valid. Basically, yeah.
okay. So like if the stack is so while we're iterating through, if we see one that's closing, um, then we would check if the stack is empty, that means that it doesn't have the corresponding closing bracket. So we would just return false. And if we have another case would be if we have like if the current char is like not equal to uh, it's closing, then if the current chart is not equal to the like the map of the wait sorry map of the wait, so if it's closing, then if the last like the last element of the stack is not equal to the oh wait so if iterating through the string, if the character is opening, you append it to the stack. So sorry, I'm just like going over like a simple
Okay.
example. If it's opening, then we stack. Okay, so if the last element of the stack is not equal to the stack empty, so um, so map of the current char, which would be like the opening bracket, then it would just return false. And after we iterate over, if we have an empty stack, then we return true because that means that we found all of our like matches. If it's not empty, then there's like
Mm.
still leftover like opening brackets, which means that it's not valid.
I want to just quickly. I know we're a bit low on time, but I just want to quickly dive into this one. Well, what's the stacked out pop mean? Like, did you just mean the top element, or did you actually mean to like pop it off?
We would have to pop it off because every time we're going over it, we would have to, like, if we found a match, then we would just like iterate over. Um,
Yeah.
so we would have to pop the stack to go to to check the next element instead of this the stack.
Yeah. Okay,
Like
that makes sense.
we
Yeah.
would have to delete this. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's open, you always append no matter what kind of bracket it is, as you were saying,
Yeah.
right? And if it's closing, you need to check. Well, obviously, if you're closing with nothing that's empty, then it's immediately returned false. Of course.
Yeah.
But if there is something, then you have to check that it this we were saying like this map over here, right?
Yeah.
Like it corresponds to the right character.
Yeah.
Um, why do we like do we need a map here? Is there a reason you chose to use a map? Is there
Um, I just thought that was like the most like intuitive way that I could think of.
okay? Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Uh,
It's gonna work. I just was curious about why you used a map. Okay, that's cool. And then, do you have any intuition about the time and space complexity for the solution?
Um, the time would of course just be going over all of the string, so it would just be like linear, so like O of n,
Okay,
and
and space.
the space complexity would be we're storing only like I'm not 100% sure with like the time complexity of like the I'm sorry, it's the space complexity of the like the three types of brackets, but
Okay.
um it wouldn't it would just be like constant because um sorry, I'm not actually 100% sure with the space
Yeah. Well,
complexity.
your map wouldn't be using your map would be constant space because you only have three pairs of parentheses.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
your stack is gonna be
Oh,
using more
sorry.
than most of the space.
Yeah. Like the worst case would just be we would only have like the like string with only opening brackets, so that would just be storing all of them, so it would be O of n time also.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's talk about it. So that concludes the mock. I want to just quickly ask you, how did you feel about this? And then of
Um,
course we'll go to the feedback question, etc. But I want to just just get a pulse check. How do you feel about this so far?
I feel like I could have done it better. I was a little nervous. So
Okay. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think yeah, I made some mistakes, but um, yeah, I feel like I could have done better, but it is what it is.
Well, what do you feel like were the biggest mistakes?
I think the biggest mistake was like not fully. I was making a mistake using like accessing like a counter with a value, not with a key,
Yeah.
and um, I think I could have clarified the edge cases at the start, like asking if they're only like even or odd length of lists, uh, and I think also at like the start I wasn't familiar with like the like tuple part, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think I just need more practice with these.
Okay. And and like in terms of solution confidence, like how confident are you in your solution? Like I guess you have two here, right? Like how do you feel about it? Like do you feel like that those are optimal? Do you feel like they're not optimal? Like how
Oh,
do you feel about them?
I don't think they're optimal.
Okay.
Um, I just like chose like the most like like the way that made the most sense to me and easier to like code it up.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like there should definitely be a more optimal way to solve this.
Which I mean, let's talk about each of the solutions individually. Like the first one about the averages.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like that one wasn't optimal? this is like an intuition check. Like there's not necessarily a right answer here, but like where do you feel like that your first solution was not optimal?
I think like sorting the list itself, um,
Do you know, like, is it the case where it's like, okay, you know there's a better solution but it's too difficult to code, or it's like you don't know there's a better solution but you think that there must be one?
I think it's the second
Okay.
choice, second
Okay,
option.
that's good
Yeah.
intuition. We'll get to that. How about the second? How about
Yeah.
the parentheses question? Do you feel like your solution here was optimal?
Um. Oh, space.
Because like I just want to understand exactly where we are with the strengths and weaknesses. You know, like a lot of the times, a lot of people kind of do these solutions, and it's like they don't know like what strategy they're taking on, right? Like, are you going to go for optimal solution, or are you going to go for like a safer one but easier to code? Like in your case, I mean, we didn't do coding here, right? But in your case, like, do you think this is optimal,
Um.
right? Like you said, in space, in time. That's what you said, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Constant stack. We need a stack in the first place.
It's a
Um.
bit of a like it's a bit of a tough one because especially if you're like newer to Leetcode and stuff, it's hard to be able to tell and distinguish, right?
Yeah.
But we'll go over that. Okay, so,
Yeah.
uh,
I'm
so
actually not sure about the second one.
okay, yeah, we'll talk about that. All right, cool. So, um, overall, pretty good performance today. Right, we got a couple easier questions, but I thought you handled them fairly well, especially with the follow ups. I think most of the extra kind of performance you can gain is not really through algorithmic practice, although of course you would get more there. But right now it would be from having a better like approach and system for solving problems. Because one of the things today was that you were sort of just winging it in terms of like how you would approach a problem. I think a bit of a system would help you a lot more. For example, there were a couple of things I would have expected you to do. Let's take the first problem, right? The first one is I would expected the examples to come out immediately, right? So in terms of
Oh.
examples, I mean, like especially because you kind of you didn't realize that there was a difference in the median case, between the even and the odd length list, right? Until you started the problem, right? Similarly with the mode, right? You didn't realize that there could be multiple modes going on, right? So those are kind of things which you can't really get caught out after you start implementing it. Like that's a bit of a bad sign, right? So
Hmm.
you want to be able to catch those early on as soon as possible, and the easiest way to do that is by just writing out a couple examples at the start, right? So
Okay.
rule of thumb for this one is, when your input is a list, your output is like a couple values, right? There's a lot of combinations that can go on over there. I would
Hmm.
recommend at least like two examples there, like two pretty full examples, just to make sure you kind of got some basics covered, right? As you do
Hmm.
more problems, you have a better intuition about what sort of edge cases there might be, what sort of numbers you might want to check, right? But rule of thumb, if you got some complex case like this going on, you definitely want to have like two cases at least, right? Okay,
Okay.
so that's gonna help you out with the start. Help you like at least formulate how you want to think about it. The second
Hmm.
thing is when you have the examples on the page and you work through them, you could already start formulating how you want to actually process it algorithmically, right? And by having an example there, you can actually really use it to help you determine the algorithm,
Hmm.
right? An example of where that would have really helped is a more advanced student here would have been able to find the one pass solution pretty early on, right? This is not like difficult code to write the one pass, like the single pass solution. It's not difficult code. In
Yeah.
fact, most of the problems that have these sort of problems will actually require a one pass solution, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, asymptotically it's the same, but in the real world it's not the same, right? It's twice as slow, two passes, right? Or three passes, three times as slow, right? Um,
Yeah.
so having that example is going to really help you. Now, a second place
Hmm.
that example would have helped you here is with the actual numbers, right? Like for example, with the actual numbers, you would have realized that for the average, or what you call the average, the mean here, you shouldn't be using the integer division, right? Like that shouldn't be using integer division. That should just be using regular division,
Yeah.
right? Stuff like that are kind of more basic cases that you would definitely be able to work around or to prevent if you had an example, because then you would just check in with the interviewer. Hey, do you agree the answer here should be 3.5? Etc. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's like a strategy thing. Like that's not about your skill in coding. That's just a strategy thing. So that using that better strategy would help you more with preventing those kind of silly issues. Okay.
Yeah.
I will quickly touch on this problem while we're here, and your intuition is quite good. So there is a more optimal way to solve the median case. Now, once you start, I don't know if you've done like algorithms class yet, but typically speaking, you'll learn this algorithm once you're learning about quicksort. So part of quicksort's algorithm is that the reason quicksort is efficient is because it is able to partition the array effectively. And the way it partitions an array is with an algorithm called quick select. Okay, so you're gonna go home and or you're probably home already. So you're gonna go back after this, and then you're gonna go learn about this algorithm called median of medians, or in other words, quick select. It's the same. It's quick select's the version used in quicksort, but I mean, you find under two names, quick select or median of medians. That is a linear time algorithm to find the median in an unsorted list. Okay. Now, that is a fairly niche algorithm, which I don't want you to go and memorize, okay? But what you do need to know is you do need to know that these algorithms exist, and it is major points to at least say so, right? Okay. So, for example, you're doing this thing and say, hey, I know that there's an algorithm called quick select. We could be getting this in linear time. I don't know how to implement that right now, so I'm going to go with this more basic one, but we can revisit that later if you want, right? So, calling that out tells me that you're very clear in your head. Oh, you know something better exists, but you also recognize your limitation. You don't know how to code that, and so we're gonna go something basic, right? So it's it's an explicit trade-off, right? And so if you can call it out, that's very good. All right.
Okay.
But I won't harp on that. You just go learn it yourself later. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So last thing about the first problem I'll say is the counter, right? The counter. It's good that you know it, but I feel like there's a couple of gaps here with your knowledge. Right, with the counter.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say off the bat is that at the start you actually you called out this function called counter.mostcommon.
Yeah.
That is actually correct. Like you could have used that, but if you use that, then I would have said, okay, let's implement it ourselves, right? But yeah. I think it's good that you call it out, right? What I didn't expect here is that there was a bit of a struggle here with the key and value pairs, right? Like you're trying to use the value to find the key. Like that's usually not going to be very common. Now, and I will say something is this doesn't apply to this problem, but if you do find that you really do need to use the value to find a key, what you're looking for in that case is what's called like a bidirectional map, right? And so don't do it for this problem, but for some problems you do need that. That is available. Like you can do that. Right, and if you're not allowed to use the ones in certain libraries and stuff, you can always roll it yourself, right? Like just declare a second map and just make it the other way around, right? So there are ways to do it. Wouldn't help you in this problem, but there are ways to do it, right? So just be aware, these little things you kind of are expected to get better with as you progress. Okay.
Yeah. Sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Parentheses question here. I think you did actually very well in this one. This is the optimal solution. And the reason you should be able to tell that is because of your time and space complexity. Okay, so the time complexity here is optimal because to process to determine if a list is valid, you do need to cycle through the entire list, right? Or in other words, you need to cycle through a linear portion of the list. So like technically speaking, you don't need to cycle through, like your best case is that all the first half of the list are all open parentheses, right? Then it can't be possible because you can't close it in time, right? So, but that's a linear optimization. It doesn't actually save you time complexity. You still need to cycle through half plus one of the list, right? So, from that you can tell, okay, the time complexity must be at best linear, right? And then you're saying, okay, you're using a stack. Well, you're using a stack to be able to track the state of your opening parentheses, right? So in that case, for this problem, because there are many types of parentheses, and the ordering of the parentheses matters, you can't use them like a number. You have to actually have the order of these parentheses. So a stack is needed, and so the linear space complexity is also optimal.
Okay.
right? So that kind of stuff is something which which you will get better with as you practice. And
Mm-hmm.
a really important thing about that is, let's say let's say you did what you did here, right? You talk about time and space, and then when you're thinking about it, you should realize, oh, actually, this is going to be quite optimal. This is actually, like, I shouldn't spend time trying to optimize this. I should just try to focus on implementing it, because this is going to be as good as it gets, right? So
Okay.
these little bits of strategy are what you could develop and get really good at, and these kind of things add up over time, right? So
Okay.
I think you have a really good foundation here with what you've done. But obviously, as you get more practice, strategy wise, Leetcode wise, etc., you're going to do a lot better. But
Yeah.
today, I think you still did quite well.
Thank you.
Any questions on your part?
Um, so like I've actually never had like an interview where I actually had to code stuff up. Like of course I've done some like mock interviews with like friends or like other people just asking for like some mocks, but like generally like when you do an actual like coding implementation interview, um, like is it the best like what's like the best order of like approaching the question? Is there like a general like rule?
Well, so I mean, do you mean like strategy, like what I said earlier about that strategy, or do you mean
Not like
something else
strategies,
about
but like
approach?
yeah, so like first you would actually like of course read the question and clarify the questions
Yeah,
with the interviewer.
yeah.
And would you always like start like do at least like a one example to like make sure you fully understand the input and the output and confirm it with the interviewer?
I would say that is always the correct thing to do. And what I mean by that is that it's correct to do about 90% of the time. Uh, but the reason you should always do that is because, you know, it's an insurance policy, right? Like for this question, it's really quite a simple question. But if you get any of the arithmetic wrong, it means your entire approach is wrong, right? So something that's an insurance against making a really stupid mistake, or misunderstanding what a term means, or doing something else that's like dumb. So I would say that's always a right thing to do for these kind of problems, because if it's an easy problem, you can do the example really quickly. You can just bang it out, right? So I would say approach wise, it's basically always a good thing to do an example first to be able to confirm the number or solution is correct, and then to be able to use the example to work through your approach and algorithm.
Okay.
And this will be
So
quite
like
common for questions which are a bit more difficult. And
mhm.
then it can be ambiguous. Like it's either that the question itself is ambiguous, like the part of the test is they want to see if you can identify ambiguity, and then the
Mhm.
other part of it is that the algorithm is difficult, and so you want to have a decent example to be able to think through, like a coding component. Go ahead.
Okay. Um so like let's say like usually when the interview gives you like 45 minutes, is it usually like for like easy ones, it's usually like two questions expected to finish in 45, right?
That would depend on the company. I would say in basically all interviews that are 45/1 hour long, you are expected to do two problems, and that would be either two problems that are like completely different problems, or like one problem plus one follow up, like a difficult follow up. Yeah.
Okay. In terms of that, like let's say it's like an hour interview long and you're supposed to do like two questions, so 30 minutes on each questions. Like how long would you actually like spend understanding and clarifying the examples or like writing a pseudocode with the interviewer before actually diving into the implementation?
So that's a strategy question. The approach you take there depends on two things. The first thing is, how much of a chance do you have? Okay, so here's how you should think about it. Um, in an average case, you should spend at least probably like 3 minutes, like working through an example, like working through an example, running through an algorithm, going through some like thinking about how you want to structure your solution, right? That's like a base case, and then you have like 20 minutes maybe to like polish it up, right, etc. Right? Where that wouldn't apply is, for example, if you know your chances in interview is not going to be well. Like for example, if you know the questions will be harder than what you're able to do, in that case, you basically need to take a risk. All right. So first, I'm not saying you should do this all the time, okay? But I'm telling you, like realistically speaking, you will be able to tell, not rarely, like somewhat often, when you're doing well in interview, like in terms of the rounds at a company, and when you're not doing too well. When you're doing well at a company, you should hedge your bets. Don't do anything risky, right? And then spend the time on the example. Spend the time working through like a building a solution up. Like start with the basic solution, build it up really quickly, right? See what you can do there, right? Now, at some interviews, your chances aren't good. I'm gonna say it straight, okay? So this is a difficult company, and you need to take a risk. And so what a risk means in this case is you do a very bare bones basic example, and you give yourself as much time as possible to come up with the optimal solution, right? And this would also mean, for example, you need to like spend more time up front not doing the brute force solution, but just trying to straight go into something optimal, right? And depending on the person, depending on you, you might find it's easier to go from nothing to optimal with a comprehensive example. Some people like myself, I find it easier to go from nothing into optimal with a bare bones example, right? So that will really depend on your strategy. But depending, so right, so the approach you take depends on the situation you're in, and depends on all the surrounding factors, right? So I can't really say like I did not to give you direct guidance on what to do, but what I will say is that it is very typical, and I would recommend spending about 3 minutes on coming up with examples and working through them.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else, questions wise?
Um, no, I think it was a really good practice. Yeah, thank you for this. Thank you for this mock interview.
No problem. All right. Take care.
Yeah. Bye bye.
All right. We're gonna start with the resumes very shortly. Um, go and get those out of the way. Get those out of the way. Okay. Cross post this guy. Oops, wrong one. Forms. Yeah, that's the right one. Man, all right. What are we doing today? Let's go over here. I'll be back in like I'll come back in like 3 minutes. Alright, did you guys miss me? Let's see. Alright, we got one here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, take a look. Alright, this person said, targeting software engineering roles, secondary emphasis on embedded systems. New grad 26. Okay, embedded stuff, that's cool, I like embedded. Alright, U of A. Okay, this is relatively recent. AM research assistant. Reduce data pre-processing time 60%. ETL cleaning pipelines, NumPy pandas. Okay, okay. Enhance LLM output relevance by developing. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, let me take a look here. By 15%. I guess that's not bad. As an opening point, I feel it's a bit weak. Let me see, anything else you do? Okay. Enhance LLM output relevance, developing context aware training model. Okay, so I would expect what like enhance to be quantified here, right? Like by how many percent? Like this percent is pretty good, but I don't know how long this time was, right? If you're saying 50% of 1 minute, that's like whatever. If you're saying 50% of like 10 hours, that's quite a bit, right? So I thought this 50% is not bad, but it's a bit lacking context. This point, if you can link some publications, that'd be really good. Like even if you're not like the author directly, like if you're just linking some publications about what you're doing, that's relevant, right? That's good because you're doing research, right? Okay, let's see what's good in here. This is a tester role. Okay. That's like whatever. It's like whatever. Okay. BlackBerry. Okay. This is QNX is all. Is that also like testing related? I'm not sure what QNX is. Should accept release of this. Achieve 100% test coverage for executing blackbox test. Okay, that's good. I guess for testing, that's really matters, right? Was good. I'm assuming that's what WSG means. If WSG doesn't mean what's good, I'm cooked. That's a lot of stuff I don't know about. Oh, okay, this is good. I think this point is good. If you can bump this one up, I think that'd be good. Especially talking about like is your when you talk about improved testing strategies and practices, does this just mean you did more code reviews? Like I'm a bit confused about how these two are related. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch, but that's still a good. Like 3 weeks to 1 week, still a good result. So okay. Robotic, just like a student group kind of thing. That's fine. I'm not sure if I would put this under experience or like, yeah, but that's fine. Implementing nested navigation with a stack navigator inside a bomb town. Wait, what is this? Okay, I see. This is specifically about UI. I think that's a bit specific to talk about that much UI, but okay. But okay, that's fine. That's fine. 50% more secure transactions daily. Okay, I don't know how you would quantify security in terms of percentages, to be honest. Maybe that's okay, but I'm not quite seeing this. I think comparing what you did over here with what existed before would be better than just saying like how many percent more secure. I think that's a bit control. Are we back? I think we're back. That was weird as hell. That was weird as hell. Where were we? I think this is where we were. Oh my god, perfect. Yeah, I don't know. Shit just crashed. Shit was kind of weird. Anyways, we're back. Yeah, I think this is a bit contrived at 50%. I personally would just compare and contrast to what was there before. This is fine. Okay, some products going on. Definitely need some dates over here. Done some dates over here. Let me see. What's good? This is good. This is good. This is a good thing. I like this. This is good. Some unique stuff over here. This is good. I like this. Okay. Robo Drive. Drive file lanes from using OpenCV, collect real-time training data. Okay, that's pretty cool as well. I like the hackathon stuff. Skills wise, let's take a look. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So what I would say here. Okay. Because you're going for like back end and stuff as well. Or just sorry, not back up. Like regular. Like I think embedded here. I'm not too sure. Like it's a bit of a. I think you could definitely tailor some more products towards that and then get into embedded. But I think as of right now, it's a bit iffy. You had like for example, embedded wise, you had what? You had some stuff over here which might be close to embedded. I'm not sure what this is. This has a bit of embedded stuff in it, I guess. If you're talking, no, actually, no, the wrong one. Thought I saw something here. Oh, maybe not actually. Oh no, it was this one, right? The robotic stuff. I think general software have a better chance. Embedded, I think you need to make some more products on it. It's a bit iffy right now. Overall resume is fine though. Could definitely work on some stuff, but don't see anything wrong with it. Okay. Why did everything just fucking crash though? That was really weird. How big is a queue for resumes? Let me check. There's only one more. Oh, this guy didn't redact their. This guy didn't. There is no queue for resumes. Submit yours now. This guy didn't redact their resume, so whoever submits next gets reviewed next. Otherwise, we're kind of chilling. I used to like pull resumes from like other people's like resume channels and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I shouldn't do that. First name, last name. Now, if you want me to review your, wait. Let me ping this guy. We'll submit one sec. Yeah, take your time. I'm definitely gonna be here until 1:30, cause I'm gonna hang out here anyways. But I'm chilling. Cause I'm honestly just like whatever. I'm just chilling. 1:30, you know. Well, I don't know what time zone is for you guys. It's like 1:20 for me right now. So I usually try to give like 30 minutes to like live resume reviews and stuff, but recently my interviews have been going overtime a little bit, so so I've been trying to get more time back. But also, if no one submits resumes, then it's chill for me. I can just go home. Oh, we have a submission here. Take a look at this. Okay, we got one over here. Oh, okay. I know this guy. I know this guy. I'm saying that like I'm actually a savant or something. Like in case you guys weren't aware, I can see like a lot more like I can see people's Discord username when they submit. So, but honestly, half the time I see the resume and I know who they are before I see before the username. So that's just me. All right, so this guy going for full stack, enjoy both backend and front end. So in other words, full stack. Opening roles and suite. Okay, cool. Cool. How's it going, man? Haven't seen in a while. Cool. I'll do yours after the current one. All right. So what changed since last time we talked to you, man? Did I talk to you since? Let's see. I honestly don't remember. I don't remember what we did last time. Okay. Anyways, this is coming in. This is starting very soon, man. Very nice. Okay. All right. Yeah, I remember this one. Okay, so, I mean, obviously, I think like this is good. If you're for example, if you're gonna be doing Like if you're going to be applying to roles while you're still working at SAP, you're going to need to, start putting some details here, right? Like right now, I don't know what you're going to be doing. I don't know what's up, so I think it's very chill. But frankly, if because I mean you're not gonna wait for your thing to expire before applying, right? So a SAP I think is like what 8 months or something, right? So if you're coming in, you're 4 months in, right? Come back in April, right, for another review. Come back in April, and then I want to see some good points here, right? So that's gonna be the most relevant. So you gotta make sure you have some stuff there, right? But right now I can't say anything right now. This looks fine. All right, so manufacturing company. This is just about finished, right? So engineered Postgres SQL Server, unifying access for single API. That's good. Real-time telemetry, 41 vessels. Okay. Third-party data. That's good. API performance coming into okay. That's kind of reads by 50%. Do you have data on how much API performance improved? Because this is a second-order data point, right? Like this is a second-order knock-on data point. If you have the direct data point for this, that's a lot more. That's a lot better. But this is still a good point. Good stuff. Automated reporting. Blah blah. This is a bit of a weaker point. That's a bit of a weaker point, to be honest. It's okay, but it's a bit weaker. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Okay. All right. Is this the same company or is it a different company? Deliver data intensive front end features, React, Redux, TypeScript. Okay, this is good. Deliver data intensive front end features, React. Okay. Okay. Build reactive D3 JS heat map, data sensor readings, PyTorch. I like this. This is a good point. This is a good point right here. This is very nice. This is like what this is mid. Oh, let development internal admin dashboard. Let development. If you could use a better like verb here, let development. Like be more specific about what you were leading, or was it in general just something that you did by yourself? I don't know. I think this point's kind of mid. This is like whatever. Okay. This point is kind of mid. This one's kind of mid. Prevent UI lag. I'm not convinced you can ever prevent UI lag, to be honest. Okay, so this point's actually okay. This point's actually okay. These 2 points are kind of mid. I won't read this too much. Like the stuff on here really doesn't matter anymore. I'm just like whatever. That's whatever. I'm seeing anything kind of like insane here. Just like whatever. Okay. I will put dates here. Let me see. Okay. Average OpenAI wrapper. I'm kidding. That's fine. What is this? Django IoT platform. Oh, this is good. I like this. This is good. What is this? You have another AI thing right here. I would probably put this one over this one then. I'll probably just took one of them. Took ownership of it. Yeah, took ownership of it. I would reframe that from lead development. In fact, I think as an intern, it could actually be quite a good thing to quote unquote lead development. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I mean, I again, as a full-time guy, I'll be full honest, right? If you quote unquote let an intern lead something, it's really not leading anything, right? I think instead, if you took ownership that someone else let something in, that's actually almost like a better stamp of approval. Like, you know what I mean? So I say if you can reframe that to be like taking ownership from somebody else for whatever, like you don't need to elaborate on the reason, but if you can put it that way, I think it'd be quite good. Okay. I mean, resume is strong like usual, man. It's I mean, you're doing fine. All right, we got a bunch of guys here. All right. Let's get through these guys. All right, let's take a look. If you guys come from Boba Talks, welcome. I do these every Saturday, same time, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Pacific. So just tune in next week. I'll be here next week. I'll be here the week after that. I'll be here the week after that, etc. Although today we did start a bit late because my mock interview ran late. So usually before this I do a mock interview, usually noon to 1, and then ran late, but it's fine. All right, what's going on here? Okay, let me just quickly take a look. I'm just still chilling. Everything is chilling. All right, we're chilling. All right. What's going on here? Okay, so this guy's comment is, have an RO for a company I won't say. Oh no, okay, you docked yourself there, so I'll dock you. Yeah. RO for HubSpot. Would like a different company for summer 26. Apply to 40 companies. Only heard back from 2 looking for USA backend roles. Ooh, you're cheating on HubSpot. I'm gonna tell on you. I'm gonna tell on Eric, bro. I'm gonna tell Eric you're cheating on HubSpot. Okay. Okay. This does not need. This, you cannot have 2 lines over there. I'll tell you that right now. Carlton rate my prof. Huh. Browser registration. This is good. That's a good one. If you get like an interviewer or like a hiring manager who's a bit younger who knows what rate my prof is. By the way, rate my prof is not some ancient technology, right? So a lot of people don't know what the hell rate my prof is. They're gonna appreciate this one. This is funny. K nearest neighbors. I love K nearest neighbors. This okay. These are all good projects. I will put dates there personally, but not a big deal. If you don't put dates, at least put the GitHub. All right. So you say you want back. Oh, you say you want back. Okay, USA backend. All right. Okay. Okay. This should be 2 lines. Boom. This point's kind of mid. This point's good. This point is good. I think you could probably. I think I saw you before, maybe. I think I saw this experience before. Okay, this one needs to be more. Like this one. This is your most recent experience. I know these 2 are back to back, but this one needs some more meat to it. In terms of like impact and prestige, this one is kind of like by far the best one over here. So you gotta put some more stuff. Let me see what you can elaborate on. Okay. Boom. Okay, so I would say one thing you have over here that's quite good is you have a lot of data points. You have a lot of stuff there. That's good quantification. I think what you could maybe consider putting on here more, especially if you're on like one team who's like and a team has like a team level goal, is to talk about how these projects fit into the bigger picture, right? Like why were we, for example, purging all of this data? Like what's going on? Like are we on a campaign to save storage or etc. Right? So if you can these 3 points of division are quite good, right? But I think you can put some more meat on the bones over here, right? Talk about the goals. Talk about something higher level. Tie these together. I think that's your next step here. But the resume is fine. Resume's not gonna hold you back. What is this? Okay, get rid of that. All right, next. Oh, we have some lack of resolution. What's up, man? Do you recommend keeping the location of YC Star? Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed your question there. My bad. Do you recommend keeping, even though I did it remote? I'm not gonna lie, no one cares. Literally, no one cares. Okay. All right. This guy's comment is, I'm trying to see how I can improve my. Wait, is this the same guy? Let me just make sure I got this guy. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to see how I can improve my bullet points when I go to Suite, full stack backend, intern roles, data, as well as I'm currently working on data eng. Okay, so data as well as full stack backend. You're probably gonna need two resumes for that if you want to be competitive, right? Okay, what's up, man? Working on the development tracker using MERN, Postgres instead. Should I after this make a second product in Spring so I can have 2 resumes? Okay. Are you this guy? Wait, hold on, take a look. Who are you? You're not that guy. You're just a random guy. Okay. Should I make a second product in Spring so I can have 2 resumes, one for my C++ experience? Okay, so I would say, depending on who you are, I mean, I can't really say. Generally speaking, most people, if you're just differentiating between like C++ / full stack web, that's 1 resume is fine. Where I would start to differentiate is if you're doing either specialized web or specialized C++. So for example, specialized web would be something like getting into like really detailed front end things, like doing design systems, doing accessibility remediation, building frameworks. That would be, I would say, okay, then you need like a specific front end resume. Where you would need a specific backend resume or C++ resume, sorry, is if you're doing like a high performance C++, C++ feature development. If you're doing very modern C++, like I think C++ 20, was it 25? No, I think C++ 23 is the newest one, right? 34, goddamn. C++ 2. C++ 23 is that the newest one, newest standard? Yeah, this is the current revision. So if you're doing a lot of C++ 23, then I could say, okay, then you might want to, highlight that as a thing, right? Specifically, if you're doing a lot of C++ that's like used in an industry a lot, like high performance C++, graphics C++, like library graphics, stuff like that. Like then it could be like very, very good. But if you're not doing that kind of stuff, it's honestly okay to put both those on the same resume. You're not specialized enough. All right, back to this guy. Yeah, I will say that whoever submitted the resume by now, I will review. So if you just wait, I will get there. All right. Okay, so this guy, right? Yeah. Okay, so you're doing what? Bachelor's. Okay, what do you have? You have data engineering, web dev. This is a long time ago. Okay. All right, so a couple things off the bat that needs to happen. First thing is, okay, coursework wise, okay, you can get rid of that. This is 121. Don't put that on there. That's not really good. This is okay. You can put these things on. You know, if you're applying to somewhere outside of Vancouver, they might not know the courses, so like you could get away with it, but like within Vancouver, it's not gonna fly, man. All right, TD Canada. Okay, data engineering. Executed data pipelines. What does it mean to execute a data pipeline? Do you mean you built it, or do you mean you ran it? I think you need a better verb there. 20% increase in, okay, hold on. For large scale data sets for query-based validation testing. I think our sentence structure is a bit weird. I assume you built pipelines for large scale data sets. If that's the case, you don't need a comma here at all, right? Like this comma makes no sense. Oops, get rid of this comma, right? For query validation testing. Okay, so I think I'll reframe the sentence a bit. Team productivity during development. I'm not clear. Maybe I don't know enough about data engineering, but I find it difficult to understand how creating a pipeline would increase team productivity during development. But I might just be unaware. Yeah. Oh, that's a great tip as well from Eric. Yeah, it's not that 20% is like a bad number or not, but like if it's too round, okay, like here's the thing, if it's a round plus I don't really believe this, to be honest with you, then it's like, okay, you probably made it up. Right? But if it's like, you know, if it's gonna be round, at least make the correlation very believable. Or if it's, you know, or make it not round so it's easier to see. That is, I would agree. That is an unethical life pro tip. That's true. Okay, this is fine. These are all fine. Yeah. Okay, you have okay, so the thing is, this is a little while ago, right? So this is a little while ago now. You tested some integration, you revamped some layouts. Okay, so first thing I'll do is I would probably combine these two into the same point, or reframe them to be the same kind of thing. It's a bit weird to have the two striped ones kind of sandwiching this middle one. One more thing I would do is that if this is like I'm assuming this is a public site, make sure you have a link to it so people can see what's going on. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, just get rid of that food bank afterwards. Product wise, okay, need dates immediately. Why do you need dates? Because you have no other experience for your back end work, right? Like right now you're doing, where are you? You are this person. So you're trying to do full stack backend. You have no full stack backend experience in your experience, and so putting the dates here is really important to be able to tell people, hey, even though you're working data engineering, you are actively working on your personal project side on full stack backend, right? So that's really important. Stuff like this is kind of cool, but not really employable, to be honest. So I would work on something that's like a MERN stack. What is this? Raspberry Pi. This is pretty cool. It's good to put on there. Again, this is not employable, so maybe make it like a 1 point kind of experience or project. Sorry. Again, this is kind of cool. This doesn't do anything. So I think this is a very easy recommendation. Make a MERN web app. Boom, done. All right, let's see who's next. Ooh, we have someone who's using a blur. Nice. Is it redacted? It is. Nice. Okay. Nice. Wait a second. Isn't it? Wait a second. Okay, it's the same. Okay. I think the really thin margins is throwing me off. What is a MERN app? MERN is a text that you can use. So, and by the way, I really hate this initialism, but it is what it is. So M is MongoDB, E is Express, it's a JS API, backend API. R is React for front end, and N is Node for backend. So that is how that is if you because I mean so look at your stuff here. You don't have that. Like you don't have those skills. That is the most employable skill set to have basically. So you need to put that on the resume basically. Okay, like stuff like this is really cool. Like that, like these are cool to talk about. But I'm gonna tell you just straight. I want look. I don't need to be polite, right? You're here for advice, not to feel good. So these things look really cool, not employable at all. Simply not employable. All right. So do a MERN web app and then come back. What are some employable products? Just curious. I'm actually working on an article right now about like what products to pick. Again, again, I don't know who you are, don't know your background. I'm gonna just say, just basically straight off the bat, everybody who is alive in 2025 needs to basically have a full stack web app, and what full stack web app or how full stack web app doesn't really matter. The reason is because so many companies have these basic technologies on their filter list that you just have to have it basically, right? I mean like you basically just have to have it, right? So just to give a quick and dirty answer to your question, pick your favorite social media app. It could be anything. It could be Twitter. It could be Instagram. It could be Discord. It could be Figma. If you use Figma for social media, good for you, right? Make a clone. Make a clone. Use a MERN stack. If you're a bit more advanced, you don't need to use MERN. You can use like a real backend, or you can use a real database. You know, not real, quote unquote real database. You can use a SQL database, right? Those are a bit more employable than NoSQL databases, right? But just have that as the baseline, right? If you don't have that as a baseline, it's not gonna be like you're basically shooting yourself in the foot for no reason, right? If you're like a decent student, like you're a pretty strong student, you're a pretty strong dev, right? A full stack web app in MERN that's like a decent clone. Like obviously you will not be handling Twitter scale, okay? But if you can log in, you can make a post, you can look at somebody else's post, right? You can support images, right? That shouldn't take you more than a month, right? So spending a month to get like a baseline product on a resume is just it's gonna be good. Okay. Use Postgres and MongoDB. Yeah, you can switch out MongoDB for anything. The reason I still say MERN is because all of the online resources, tutorials, guides, other people's projects, they're all gonna be using the MERN keyword, right? Obviously you can go swap it out with whatever you want. Like I mean, I don't care. I'm not the MERN police, okay? Should have all MERN full stack. Well, you should have at least one MERN. And then if you're going for backend, I would recommend quote unquote like like a real quote unquote backend. So I would, since you're using you're Java, right? You're a Java shop. You're a Java shop. Yeah, you're Java. So I would just use Spring. I would use Spring. Spring is the best backend for employability. Node's good, right? That's why I said MERN. Right, MERN. The in and MERN is Node. Python's okay as well. If you're good at Python, you're doing data, you can use Django. Right, start with Django if you're scared with Spring. Django is much easier than Spring. All right, what's this guy want? So this guy is saying going for full stack software internship 26 summer. Okay. Bachelor in computer science business. We got some Bucks people here. You do not need a sense of your school if this is your degree. I don't mind though. You should split that up. Telling me to pipe. Front end and tools. This is a weird categorization. I would not have a categorization of front end and tools. I just think it's very clear seeing JUnit 5 and React in the same category, but I guess it doesn't really matter. No one's reading that anyways. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is okay. This is good. I like this. By the way, you need to have a link here, right? Like I don't know if this is just a PDF thing, but you need to have a link here. I would recommend putting like even like a link icon, right? Link icon and make the entire thing blue. Like make this and the icon blue so people know, oh, this is a real paper. You should be clicking on this. Okay. So this is good. This is whatever. Okay. What is it? Okay. So some developer, something going on here. Creating web pages fixes bugs. 25% increase on Lighthouse. Okay, so this is very good because this is like, okay, I can believe this because this is like a real thing. So okay, that's a great point. All right, advanced movies experience reducing web page all the time. Okay, that's very believable as well. I can definitely believe that. that the COS has unused JavaScript libraries. Okay, since 100,000 active users, network boosting efficiency by okay, support assistance. Okay, so this one's a bit iffy, right? So I can understand that this first part good. Overall work efficiency by 15% is hard to say. So this point feels like a bit of a filler. This is kind of mid. Since it is experience, I think it's okay to put Agile Scrum. But every time someone says Agile / Scrum, it's a bit of a yellow flag. Okay. What's going on in chat? Repoint. Oh, your link got removed, Eric. If you want to send me the link on Discord directly, I can post it in chat for these guys. I wonder if it's because YouTube doesn't allow links in the comments. That might be the case. I'm not sure. Deploy a product in AWS is something like Learn Cloud. Yeah, I would definitely recommend, by the way, in general, deploying your projects to be live. Your websites, if you're making a website, at the very minimum, that should be online. These days, there's so many free ways to host a website like that. Like there's really no excuse to have that not be online. All right. Here's the link that Eric posted. Please go check it out. It's a really good presentation. In fact, I might just put it on screen right now. Which slide did you say? 17? Oh yeah, exactly here. Yeah, so right here, very good. Check it out. Stuff like this is chill. Okay, so go go look at that after. Okay, you guys are yapping in chat. We're chilling. All right, so let me look at the products here. Okay, so dates are missing. I don't know if this is like clippable GitHub links. So that might be okay, but I would recommend just putting dates in the products anyways. Okay. Reducing API code. This is a good point. This is kind of mid. Okay, this is good. Job matching agent. Okay. I would be a bit more specific about what this actually is. So is this an agent? Is this like an MCP agent? Is this like a... Because it's a bit unclear to me if this is like a website you actually use and then the website has an agent, or it's like just like a pure agent. So like this... excuse me, holy cow. Stuff like this really matters for people like recruiters who have no idea what anything is. So you gotta be a bit more explicit, you know? Okay, so we got some stuff going on here. Okay. Firebase authentication, Firestore. Okay, so if you have this in your head already, you do not need to have this as a point. Delivery time processing, built backend in Flask, Express, Azure, CD pipeline, get actions. Automate testing deployment Azure reduces cycles by 50%. Just to be clear, you probably mean like cycle time. That's what I'm guessing you mean. For a project CI/CD pipeline, okay, this is fine. I can believe it. What is this? Full stack event planning app, built-in user access to Google Calendar. Okay, this is a good first point. Query speeds. Okay, I can believe that as well. This is my pet peeve. Personally, I would be specific about whether your performance here is about latency or about throughput. Okay, so that's my little nitpick there. Nobody's gonna care about that, by the way, so that's not real feedback. But that is when an engineer looks at a resume, that's what they're gonna see, right? Load balancer. No balancer on where? Are you using like API gateway or what? Docker. Oh, I see. Load balancer. Do you mean load balancer as in Kubernetes? Or what? I think this one you can probably clarify a bit. This is fine. Resume is fine. You got some good stuff here. Yeah. You guys are coming from Boba Talks. You guys should join the TCN server because this is where I advertise the events. On Boba Talks, I didn't get I didn't get Yo, is my Firefox crashing again? No, it's good now. Yeah, sometimes I post reactively on Boba Talks, right? So you guys should join if you guys want to tune in next week. All right, mostly backend or infra, no experience with that. Resume didn't change a lot since last time reviewed 4 months ago. I feel like I have one interview entirely this term, which is weird because internship with safe software. That's pretty good stuff. Safe is pretty good for local stuff. Safe is a pretty big employer out in they're in Surrey, right? I think Safe is in Surrey, but wait, is there in Surrey? Yeah, they're in Surrey. Yeah. I actually walked by the office once when I was walking from White Rock to downtown. All right, let's take a look at what's going on here then. Okay. Incoming. Okay, so this is presumably this is what we're just talking about. Okay, that's chill. Never would despite perfect OA. Oh, okay. Let me address this one first. I think the notion of a perfect OA is a bit of a misnomer. I'll say that from two perspectives. The first perspective is that one aspect of OAs that people are measured against is when you actually do the OA, right? Like you can get perfect on the last day it's gonna be open, but that's not really gonna help you. Like it helps more to finish the stuff as basically as early as possible. So that's the first thing I'll say. So the second thing I'll say is that there really isn't a distinction between like a quote unquote perfect OA and like someone whose OA is like above the cutoff line. People don't like just like sort the OA performance and decreasing score and then pick the people at the top. That's not really how it works. It's as soon as someone crosses the threshold for what they're gonna hire for that cycle, they start scheduling people in, right? So I would say just a perfect OA is not enough. You have to like there are other aspects. Okay, so I'm not like saying we did this wrong or something, but like just be aware. Perfect OA is only one part of these question. Okay, but I want to get a move on. I'm gonna get to these guys. Okay, so right, what's going on with this guy? Okay, so okay, that's chilling. That's fine. Okay, this is good. This is looking okay. Right. Okay, so when I see a resume like this, I think okay, like when I see a resume like this, okay, the resume is fine, right? The resume is fine. Like what I mean by that is, like you could sit in front of your computer for 10 hours and this resume would not get any better, right? Like if you want to improve the resume, you got to do things that are outside the resume. Like for example, things like projects or better yet, when you're over here, when you're at this level, like networking is gonna really help a lot, right? So that means things like, for example, like going to events, going to career fairs. Like you're at UBC. I sure hope you're going to NB Plus in January, right? It's like in like 4 weeks or something. Like that's the thing where it's like 24 hours or something, right? But you can only be there for, I mean, let's say you'd be there for like 12 hours. And those 12 hours you spend at that hackathon, by the way, doesn't matter if you hack or not, right? Does not matter if you hack or not. It just matters if you're there talking to people, right? Stuff like that is going to help a lot more than spending 12 hours grinding like a product or something, right? So this is the kind of thing where it's about time management and like how you want to validate that kind of thing. So I said resume is honestly fine. Like don't worry about squeezing every adjective out of the resume. No, like instead focus on where else you can spend your time going forward. Because like I said, the resume, I mean, I could sit here nitpick this all day, but that's just gonna like that's not a good use of either of our time, right? Spend time on things outside the resume. That's gonna help you a lot more. And that starts with NW Hacks, so you better be there. Okay, I'm gonna be there, so I better see you there. All right, what is this? This is the same guy, no? Okay, I don't know what this one's about. I'm gonna skip that one. I don't know what that one's about. Okay, let's take a look. What's this guy about? This guy. What's going on in chat? Yeah, don't over-index on projects. Exactly. Don't over-index on projects. Like the way I would recommend you guys think about projects is that they're a bit of like a checklist, right? Like realistically speaking, not everybody can get employment with the MERN stack, with Spring Boot, with this front-end framework, with Redux, with that, with this, with that, right? Like that what you get to work on at an internship is not really dependent on you, right? It's dependent on the company. So you should treat the projects as a way to demonstrate that, like, okay, despite the fact that I was working in this and this stack, I can still do MERN. I can still do Postgres. I still got, maybe we use some like dog shit cloud at work. I saw someone who was using one. I won't talk about that further, right? But like, okay, but I still know how to use AWS. I still know how to use Azure, etc. Right? So the projects are a bit more of like a checklist that like you can do this thing, you can do this, you can do that, right? Like exactly like Eric said, if you want to stand out with projects, they have to be like top 101 projects in that category, basically, right? Like they have to be like, okay, a recruiter who is not technical, they'll say they're technical, they're really not, right? A recruiter who's not technical can look at that and they go like, okay, what the hell's going on here? I gotta get some look at this thing. Is this for real? Like what's going on, right? Like that's the kind of thing where you like where it's like the recruiter is not just glazing over it and going, all right, okay, so they got Node, okay, so they got Express, okay, so they can come in here, right? So exactly like Eric said. By the way, it's not a bad thing to try to get a project to be really, really exceptional. It's just that you got to be realistic with your time, right? Like instead of spending all that time on that project, you're probably better off applying to like another 50 companies. That's just how that's just how it works. Now, at the same time, I know people who are motivated by projects, in which case, yeah, and then of course, right, work on them, have fun, right? It's not all about jobs. It's also good to have fun, but realistically speaking, yeah, you have to balance it there, right? Exactly. Yeah. Show that you know how to do it in general. Show that you know the basics. Because here's the truth: so many people lie very, very blatantly on their projects, like things like impact, users, etc. Like for example, I'm not gonna say this like this person's not like cheating, right? I'm not saying anyone's, but as an example, right? Let's say they have like this typing game, right? Like if this guy just on the resume said they have 10,000 concurrent users, I can't show that that's real or false. Like I can't know that, right? So it's a case where people and students, by the way, they know that, and so they'll let's say overplay their hand a little bit to make it look a little bit better, right? I understand we're trying to look good, but stuff like that is completely pointless, right? Unless you're like running typeracer.com, like it's just nobody knows what this thing is, right? So use as our opportunity just to show that you know some technologies, you know the basics. So I like, for example, this wasn't redacted, right? This demo link, for example, I can click it and go to the website. Okay, it does work, right? Okay, great, and then it's like and then that's basically all I hope to get out of it, right? So stuff like everything in between, like the skill and this is the best type racer on the planet, is like a pretty worthless distinction. So use your time wisely. All right, this person said they want to be APM program big tech. Okay. Product manager, eh? Nice. I don't get enough product managers in my chat here. Okay. Kinaxis incoming AI product management intern. Okay. Sure. I would expect. Okay. So you're not an engineer. You're product management. Okay. So you need to have a better point than this. Like this point would fly for an engineer who has no idea how to talk about anything. Okay, you need to talk about more stuff here. Okay, you need to talk about what your expectations are. You need to talk about what the company is going to do with you. Like what are the products you're going to be working on? What are the things you're excited to work about or to work on about, etc. So one point here is a bit of a filler, especially if you're going to start applying to roles during your tenure here. You gotta have some better points than this. Like I'm not letting this one slide for a PM. Okay. What is this? Okay, this is 4 months. Amply work. Cross-functional product execution. Cross-functional product execution by coordinating product engineering, operation stakeholders. Like, too much bolding going on here. Okay, too much bolding going on. Automatic task for fulfillment and processing time for 40%. Okay, so you need to be clear here. Is this processing time by the customer or by your internal whoever, right? Especially if you're talking about the PM stuff, right? Now what really matters for points is value to customer, right? What is the customer value here? What's going on here, right? I don't know what an AI product manager is. I don't know how AI comes to the tax flows. I sure hope AI never touches my tax flow. I'll tell you that much, okay? But jokes aside, I think you got to be right. The communication standard here is going to be higher for you because you're a PM. Okay, so stuff like with this wishy-washy not going to fly. Interactive prototype to test to test the feature with tax. Okay. Okay, that's good. OCR performance. Okay, so you got there's some like technical stuff here as well. Okay, that's good. Building a system detection. Okay. Learn how to discover. Okay. I think you could put this at the front, right? I think this is good. I think this is good with it. I think this last. Oh, is this the best point here? Let me take a look. Okay, I think this last point should probably go second. I think this is probably the second best point. And this is pretty cool. I think this is pretty cool, but yeah, I think there's some stuff going on here. Okay, rewording wise, right? Let me think. Boom, 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 boom. No, I think the wording here is okay, but I will try to put the obtained green light near the front. It's a positive signal, right? And then I will probably put the point second. EY. I don't know anything about EY consulting, to be honest with you. Okay. This looks like good employment. Good job. Okay, what is this? Door-to-door sales companies. CRM working door-to-door sales. Pitch tailored Figma to IT leadership. Secure approval role for sales reps. Design and delivered this and this. 4 lines for that. 4 lines for that. I think you should cut these points down a little bit if you got more to say over here. I think this is by far a much better piece of experience. 4 lines for this feels a bit excessive, but it's okay. What is this? Sure. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. That's fine. That's fine. Join a chat. Just about to show you have skills then. Yeah, basically that's what projects are. Just to show you have skills. It shows skills and interest and passion, stuff like that. Yeah. AI agents automate taxes. Projects we call big 4 firms. Cool, cool. So that's a SaaS. Oh, you mean this one? Yeah. Okay. I mean, if you're going PM, I mean, you got some founder stuff here that's pretty cool. If we're going to PM kind of thing, I'm not. I think this is like this. What this tells me as a PM is like you can talk to some people and you got some sales. That's what this thing says. All the technical stuff here feels pretty whatever, to be honest. Okay, this is like whatever. This is like whatever. V0 by Vercel. I like how this one gets called out by Vercel. I think people who know V0 know it's by Vercel, and people who don't know what V0 by Vercel is also don't know what Vercel is. So I feel like this by Vercel is a bit extraneous. Is that what it's actually called, by the way? Okay, actually it is called V0 by Vercel. Okay, then I'll let it slide. That's fine. Also, Asana mentioned. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, I think this is basically the main meat here, right? This is the main meat here. This is what you gotta just expand on. Put some more points here if you need, or put some more points here if you need the room. Room wise, this could be 1 line. This could be 2 lines. 1.2 lines or 2.2 lines, up to you. I don't know what consulting is, to be honest. I have no idea what consulting is, so I don't know. This is good. This is bad. Ask someone else, right? Structure is fine. All right, we got 2 more. Got 2 more. Thanks for sticking it out, by the way, guys. I bet. Yeah, I tend to decide sometimes want to like rush through it or like whatever, but we're chilling today. Okay. All right. This guy said full stack engineer, want to do more back end, work with databases, database engineering stuff. But I know that my experience is more full stack and web. Okay. Okay, that's chill. All right, so computer science and biology. Oh, one of those people, hey? Nice. Skills. Firebase, Firestore, OAuth. Where's EC2? No EC2? Okay, projects. Okay. All right, let's take a look. Lead software engineer intern. Okay. What is all right, well, hold on here. What is going on? Okay. Bill and lead ensign. Ooh, is there some kerning going on here? Why is that L so far left? Patient pharmacist assessment web app. Okay. Full stack development, automated testing. Okay. Patient pharmacist assessment web app. Okay, I'm not sure what this pilot MVP is supposed to say over here. If this is like really impactful for some reason, then I will put it at the front, right? Like built like for example like built pilot MVP and then led further end-to-end development. But I feel like this MVP doesn't say anything, so you can I mean like I would just get rid of it personally. Um, like if you're the previous guy and you're doing sales with an MVP, right? With this one over here, right? This guy did some sales, right? With some Figma prototype. Okay, then you should definitely talk about the MVP. But I don't know what this is. Environment setup during testing to a base. This should be 1 point max or 1 line max. This is like really mediocre. Just like whatever. Like I feel like okay. So like I'll qualify. Okay, this point is really good and impressive if you're using like an old ass testing framework and it's an old ass shit. Okay, if you're using Dino, which is such a 2025 thing to do, using Dino, you're using React, using Jest, right? This is like this doesn't say anything. Like this just meant you followed regular like not even best practice. Like this is just regular practices, and you did some existing stuff. So I'd say this point I wouldn't say detracts from your experience, but this should really not be a focus, right? Especially if you spent like 6 months here. Develop non-blocking processes for serverless environments, PDF, NLP workloads. Okay, this is good. This is chill. Handling binary PDF files on workloads to maintain a sub 16 megabyte heap usage. Reduce CPU execution time from 2 seconds to under 500 milliseconds. Non-blocking processes for this. Okay. Software engineer, health, text. This is the same one or different one? But okay. Implemented pluggable pharmacy integrations. Okay, this sounds very similar. Data pattern to achieve single high-level API. What does it mean to achieve single high-level API? I feel like your wording here is wrong. Built multi-job CI/CD pipelines on spinner runners. Okay, that's cool. 51 unit test integration. Okay, that's kind of that. Funding. Okay, funding. So if you had an MVP over here, right? This funding is. I mean, like this is good, right? Funding for MVP. That makes sense. But I don't know if there's MVP. I don't know if there's MVP in play over here. Okay, what's going on here? Data engineer intern, transform and like blah blah blah. Okay, Seaborn, Altera, Streamlit. Okay, we got some very modern people over here. Good. Develop 36 scalable web scrapers. People soup selenium undetected Chrome driver to achieve. Okay, so I probably wouldn't advertise that you were using undetected Chrome driver, personally. But you do you. This is fine. Okay. I don't know what this means. I assume it's good. TA 1 point. That's good. Put dates here. Cohere API. Okay, what do you do? Cross-platform authentication, auth0, public key. Is there a reason you're saying this explicitly? I mean, I think this reads the same, right? Like you don't need that. Coded functions for video processing Python. Coded functions for video pre-processing in Python server. Okay, this point. Okay, you gotta work like what does it mean to code functions? What does this mean? Fuzzy AI. Okay, this is fine. Deploy LM models. Blah blah. Deploy to React.js. I understand as React.js client, but okay. Okay, I see. Okay, this is good. Yeah, this is chill. This is chill. Locally by using host version. Okay, some networking stuff. Okay, like it. Development is saying converted unstructured text. This is fine. The hackles are pretty good. This feels a bit. I mean, the titles here are a bit funny, but I think the work here is actually decent. A couple of things to polish up, but I think you got the gist. I think the gist is here. All right, and one guy submitted a little bit late, but we will, because I'm in my infinite kindness and wisdom, I will grant you the honorary distinction of being reviewed. All right, let's see. Code functions wrote Lambda functions. then I would call it out explicitly, because this is I would say this makes sense in AWS like in the AWS context, but this is a prize for the Cohere API, right? So, anyways, this guy's name is familiar, is it? Let me see. I don't know, maybe not. Whoa, what would I do? Okay, okay, we're good. Like 2 weeks ago. Oh, you saw this one? Maybe this is familiar then. Yeah, I thought it was familiar, but I wasn't sure. Anyways, okay, this guy says back end full stack. Wait, let me just search this guy in thing. Okay, did he come up? Yes. What's changed since last time? Do we know? Oh, I should have a thing where it's like, oh, you know, yeah, I should make that a form field where it's like, if you submitted it before, what's changed? Like, you have to tell me what's changed, you know. But I'm looking at this thing right now. What's changed? New project. This is the same. This is the wording here is a bit different. Okay. Okay, but this project is new, so let's say on this one. Response copilot using Flask backend, React.js frontend orchestrates LM agents to command. Okay, this is cool. I like that actually. That's pretty cool. Knowledge graph builder, pipeline that ingests threat intel from OpenCTI. Visual language, I like that. That's cool. Containerize the service stack using Docker Compose, CTI, Neo4j, some stuff there. A lot of technologies here. I like it. I think that's cool. Is this project the same as last time? That's the same as last time. Okay. And then the wording changed. The wording changed over here. So this is the same. That's chill. Micronaut, Kafka stuff. Delivered a company-wide machine learning hackathon platform. Okay, with Next.js in 2 weeks and 100% participants to submit artifacts. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that. I think that's cool. You had the verification auditing workflow. Did this thing change? Let me just read it. I don't really care. 2,000 verifications weekly. Temporal workflow. Okay, this is fine. I don't think anything changed here that will like drastically change anything, but I think this is fine. I mean, I think this point is good. This thing still makes sense. It's chill. What's going on over here? Systopia. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, okay, this is familiar now. I see. Yeah, if you need more room, you could honestly just cut this point. Like just a UTA and then put the class UTA. Nothing too special need over there, I don't think. All right, that was all the resumes. What's going on in chat? So you like a resume like this? You said your time's better spent networking, right? Yeah, like stuff like this. Like basically, obviously, I mean, I shouldn't say obvious. Hopefully, it's obvious that if this is your resume, you shouldn't spend 10 hours sitting on the. I'm assuming this guy's using like a LaTeX editor, like Overleaf or something. Like you shouldn't sit for 10 hours in your Overleaf editor trying to find better adjectives, right? Hopefully that's obvious, right? So it's like, okay, well, what should you do then? Well, you can work on projects, you can work on interview prep, you can work on your life in general, like outside of tech, right? Like that. Hopefully that is obvious, right? And so I'm saying within the second category, right, between those, what you should prioritize is almost always things that you don't do, right? So for example, if you find that you're not doing enough networking, you're like you don't have enough of a circle to talk with about that kind of thing, that should be a priority, right? Like you should go to events to do that kind of thing. And by the way, another way you can look at it is you should be looking at ways to spend other people's time first, right? So like obviously, maybe again not obvious, depending on this person, I can see because they don't have the experience, right? Like if you're not the person doing the organizations for career fairs and hackathons, then you should be trying to go to that because someone else is organizing it, right? So somebody else spent 20 hours on that. Probably 10 people spent 20 hours each on working on making like NW hacks or whatever they do these days, right? And then you can go there for 4 hours essentially and get all the networking you need to do XYZ, right? So I mean, like you should spend the entire time at the hackathon to do the thing, right? But I'm just saying from like an ROI perspective, that's a much better use of your 12 hours than spending 12 hours and doing like, I don't know, 12 Leetcodes or whatever, right? So yes, you should almost always, like without exception, basically for these kind of people, do like go network, go do hackathons, go do something fun, etc. You know.